welcome to the Aerotropolis Atlanta podcast. I am Shannon James, your president and CEO, and I'm extremely excited today. We have a great partner in the room, especially we're talking economic development, none other than Gil Prado with the Fulton Industrial Boulevard CID. And so, Gil, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Shannon.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Oh, man, I'm glad you're here, man. Gil and I go back. Actually, I'll never forget when Gil first joined us to the area, and I was in my banking days, and we were all excited when we were hearing about Gil Prado. Gil Prado's coming. And so now we have the great Gil Prado in the house. So, Gil, kind of tell us about your role and what you do with Fulton Industrial CID.
Yeah, so we met actually right at when I started with the CID back in 2012, September of 2012. So 6 years,
wow,
exactly
man.
6 years. So I'm the executive director of the CID. I'm the first and only executive director that the CID has ever had.
That's right.
I've been working at that role for 6 years now. It's been amazing to see all the changes happening to the district and to and now also to see all the areas around Fulton Industrial, South Fulton, develop and grow throughout the last 6 years.
It's been amazing. It's been phenomenal, actually. I'll never forget when I first came to Fulton Industrial working back in 2011, and when I got off the exit, I thought to myself, man, this is a place where do I need to find business in this market? And I quickly found out about the CID. It was in its infancy stages. We're talking, man, 7 years ago. And so now we're here today. And like you mentioned just now, man, the growth and the development has been phenomenal. And it is really largely attributed to the great partners at the Fulton Industrial CID. And so what I'd love to do, Gil, is kind of tell us more about the Fulton Industrial CID, when it was formed. Talk to us about the boundaries and more importantly, your role and responsibilities as it relates to the CID.
Sure. Like you said, Shannon, even before 2012, back in 2009, the district was really, high crime, a lot of blight, disinvestment. And some of the property owners in the district at that time said, let's take an active role into revitalizing this district.
Right.
So some of the largest property owners like Clarion Partners, Selig Enterprises, Gatorade, Pepsi, they got together, created a partnership with the county at the time, Fulton County, and created the CID. The CID wasn't created overnight. They started working on it in 2009, and it wasn't until October of 2010 that was officially created. So they worked for about 14 months, just getting property owners to sign up and selling them the idea of what a CID is. Back then, CIDs weren't as common as they are today. I believe back in 2009, there were about 12 CIDs in the Metro Atlanta. Now we have over 25 CIDs. So back then was kind of a harder sell, telling property owners, hey, sign here and pay more property taxes so we can help revitalize this district. So it was a lot of work that the board members put in those first couple of years.
I know it. I mean, that's you make a really good point, especially being an early adopter, right? When it wasn't as popular, wasn't as informed or knowledgeable about, how CIDs operate. And here you are asking property owners to pay more in taxes to help benefit a certain geography or boundary. Can you kind of talk to us about the Fulton Industrial Boulevard, its boundaries, and kind of end to end, kind of where it meets and just kind of a lay of the land, if you will?
Yeah, sure. So Fulton Industrial is known as the largest industrial corridor in the eastern United States. It's about 10 miles long corridor. It goes from Donald Lee Hollowell, which is in the city of Atlanta, all the way to Campbellton Road in the city of South Fulton, border with the unincorporated Fulton County. The district has over 550 industrial buildings, over 50 million square feet of industrial space. We're actually doing a economic impact analysis right now, and it looks like we have over 25,000 workers in the area,
Nice.
About $1.8 billion in payroll.
Nice.
So this is all numbers that are coming out. We're going to have the final study completed in about a month. But we're excited to see the numbers and see how the district has grown throughout the years. So, but back in 2012, the CID really started with the properties kind of around the Camp Creek Fulton industrial area, and it wasn't until 2012 that we expanded to cover the I-20 interchange area. So it just takes time to get property owners to join, and we continue to expand every day.
Wow.
Our latest expansion is to include the UPS site, which is located just south of Donald Lee Hollowell and 285. And so the CID continues to expand, and the district continues to expand, and more companies coming in. And we're just, we keep trying to provide a service for all those people that work in the district and just drive through or just do the business in the district. Man,
you're doing one great job at that too, Gil. I tell you, man. If you look at, you just mentioned UPS, right? Through the CID's hard work and effort to help revitalize the area through partnership, through the ownership in the area. And now there's a massive UPS. I think it's one of the largest regional centers in the United States that is now within just off of Fulton Industrial. And I'm not sure if people realize the economic impact that's now going to bring to Fulton Industrial. And that's largely attributed to the Fulton Industrial CID and its efforts over time. And so it would be great for our listeners to now know maybe more about the UPS, because people are hearing about it. They see this big warehouse being built on the road with this huge, massive parking lot, but not really sure how it's going to serve the community or how many jobs it's going to bring or what kind of impact it's really doing for Fulton Industrial. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. You make a good point that if it wasn't for the CID, I doubt the UPS would have decided to locate in the district. What you mentioned back in 2012, crime, just rampant crime and blight. There's no way that back in 2012 UPS would have made that decision.
No way.
So now, fast forward 5 years later, this is 2017. UPS makes this big announcement that they're coming into the district. And I do have to give, the CID as well as all the property owners that worked so hard in revitalizing that district, because it wasn't for their efforts, UPS would not be there today. But yeah, we're excited about UPS. They are 1 week away from opening. They're supposed to open August 20th, and they're going to be. It's a 1.8 million square foot warehouse. Man. They're going to employ about between 4,000 and 5,000 workers. They're going to be processing 100,000 packages an hour.
Oh my God, 100,000 an hour?
Exactly.
I need to get my son a job out there, man. Oh my goodness.
They're hiring.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They
I'm
actually
taking
have
notes.
a hiring center out front because they're trying. They need to ramp up and hire so many people. But they're going to have a 20-hour workday. So it's a lot of activity coming up there. So we're excited. We're excited about UPS coming in. We've already been working with them, just try to solve some, public transportation needs and things like that. And we hope to work with them in the long term. And then eventually, hopefully in the very short term, we'll be able to start providing our services like landscaping and beautification and public safety into that Donald Lee Hollowell I-285 area.
Oh, man, that is amazing, right? So now you have corporate investment that is now coming to an area that is in need of opportunity, and you have a component like the Fulton Industrial CID, and their efforts are driving this development, that are driving this activity. And so to me, that is one of the greatest forms or greatest illustrations of public-private partnership, where you've got level of engagement from the private sector and the public sector that are now bringing jobs and opportunities to areas that, like Gil, you mentioned, 5 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, you know, a UPS center bringing 5,000 plus jobs, you know, in 2011 in Fulton Industrial was inconceivable. But today it's so conceivable that we're excited about the next opportunity that's coming. And so all that does is bring economic impact, just as you mentioned earlier. And one thing you mentioned too that I would love for you maybe to elaborate on, because I think this has been a very much so a driving force of the success that is happening in Fulton Industrial, is the work of Frank Mazzoli and the great team between yourself and the board. But Frank has been brought on a few years back, but I know that public safety has been one of the biggest, one of the primary drivers for the Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Can you speak more about Frank's role and the initiatives that you guys are taking around public safety?
Sure. You know, before I talk about public safety, I'll just give you a quick overview of what our major goals and objectives are. So since 2009, we created a work plan for the CID. And really, we're focused on public safety. That's our number one priority. Our second is landscaping and beautification. Third is transportation infrastructure improvement. And then fourth is economic development. Actually, we feel like all of those things, public safety, beautification, and transportation improvement, all feeds into economic development. So we've been focused on those areas since the very beginning. We've identified public safety as our number one priority. With that, back in 2013, we hired Frank Mazzoli, our public safety manager. And really his role is, it's not really what you think as, you know, patrolling the streets. His role is a much more high-level role in bringing together all the different agencies and departments that work to make the district safer. So we work with the local police department, Fulton County Police, now with the City of South Fulton Police as well. We work with the DA's office, the court system, state legislatures, every single aspect and facet of public safety to shine a light at Fulton Industrial and address the needs that we have.
Man, that is so amazing. I mean, you're talking 10 miles of boundary, and Frank and the CID, you guys have done an amazing job. I mean, seriously, I tell people all the time, listen, man, you need to go drive off of Fulton Industrial. You know, and people look at me and say, oh, yeah, right. No, you need to go over there. And one particular reason that I speak about, and I think all of us in the Aerotropolis talk about, is the new beautification that has now hit the Fulton Industrial Corridor, thanks to our Fulton Industrial CID partners. And I know that I don't want to backtrack too much, but I know that you've talked about partnership and collaboration. I hear that a ton, but now there's this new beautification project that has happened along Fulton Industrial that I think we've all been waiting for, and now it's reality because it doesn't even look like the same place. I mean, I get off of that exit, I'm like, this is Fulton Industrial? Yeah. And but can you speak to that project and what you guys have done with the streetscapes and the interchange? And I mean, it just looks like a whole nother territory over there. Yeah,
that's been our focus really for the last 5 years. And, you know, we feel like we have this thriving industrial district, right? But the I-20 Fulton Industrial area really is the area that needed the most help.
Right.
A lot of blighted properties there. That's the highest, you know, crime is in that area. So we really made a concerted effort to put our resources into that I-20 Fulton Industrial interchange. It's also the front door of the district. So
that's right.
You know, just like your home, you want your front door to look good.
That's right. That's right.
And so we designed this project back in 2016. Back then, we didn't even know how we're going to fund the actual construction of the project, but we decided to fund the design. In the meantime, Fulton County decided to pursue the T-SPLOS vote. You know, that went out to a public vote 2016, and the voters of Fulton County approved it. With that, we got $1 million allocated for that project. So we started construction in November of 2017. And we just completed the project now in July of 2018, so almost 9 months of construction. And we did not just the I-20 ramps, but also about a mile radius around that area. We did all brand new landscaping. We took basically everything down to the ground and then just built it back up with brand new landscaping, gateway signage, showing that, the area is, called the Boulevard CID, upgraded crosswalks with decorative brick pattern, streetlights. We just installed 66 streetlights.
Nice.
So it's great for public safety.
Oh, man.
We did, even under the I-20 interchange, we installed wall packs of lights, so it's nice and bright there as well. And we're now working on the last piece is on the I-20 westbound off-ramp, we built a circular pad for public art. So we just actually did a call for projects for public art.
Nice.
We've selected an artist. We're in the process of working out a 2-year lease for an original piece of artwork.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I can't tell you what it is yet because we haven't signed it yet, but it's going to be substantial. It's going to be 16-foot tall, 10-foot diameter. It's going to be a beautiful piece of public art, and they'll be up there before the end of the year.
Man.
We're really excited about that.
Man, you should be. I mean, come on now. We're talking Fulton Industrial, everyone. I want to make sure everyone understands, because this is a conversation I think that we all need to be having. And this allows us to be that much more economically competitive, because now you have partners like Fulton Industrial CID who are now making the investments with those corporate dollars and your hard-earned work, hiring employees, and now you're contributing towards an organization that is actually making a difference. And so that gets us excited. I mean, it gives me goosebumps, to be honest with you, because now that allows more opportunities like UPS to come to the area and bring these jobs and opportunities and economic impact. Can you speak more to your thoughts on, or the board's thoughts on, what these projects mean to economic impact for the Boulevard? Any future developments in the works, or any corporate investment that you guys are looking to attract, or kind of help us understand what does the streetscapes and the public safety and all of the many works that you guys are doing in the area, what does that mean for economic impact for you guys?
Yeah, and I think you make a good point. So all of those investments in beautification, landscaping, it's all to bring economic development into the district. We want to send a message out to big corporations, small businesses, that Fulton Industrial is the place to do business. Why does Buckhead only have art and beautiful landscaping? Why not Fulton Industrial?
That's right. Why not?
And that's what we're trying to do, is show people that it's a great place to do business. It's safe, it's clean, it's vibrant, and it's a great place to locate your company. It's been interesting to see how things changed throughout the year. So back in 2012, some of the warehouses were, 50% occupied, a lot of vacancy. So the first thing that we saw happening at Fulton Industrial is the district basically is 100% filled right now. In real estate, 95% occupancy is called full occupancy.
That's right.
And that's where Fulton Industrial is right now. The second thing that we're seeing is vacant land. People are now making applications to develop that vacant land. So the buildings are full. Developers and investors, they're thinking, okay, let's build more warehouses, let's build more businesses. So we've seen a lot of that happen. The UPS is that case in point. Now, the third thing that we're seeing is redevelopment, where we're seeing buildings being torn down and then rebuilding something new. And that's really the third phase into the revitalization of the district. So we're seeing there's on corner of Patton and Fulton Industrial, there is a building, a warehouse that has been torn down, and they're going to build a brand new tire sale shop.
I saw it.
There was another building just a block away from that. It's a truck service depot. Was a vacant piece of land. They just built a brand new building, and now just opened, and it looks like they're thriving from the times that I've driven by. So we're seeing a lot of that type of redevelopment in the district, and that's really exciting to us, because that's what we've been working for. When we focus on public safety, landscaping, beautification, transportation improvements, that is the end game, is to be able to get those companies to come in and create jobs and make the district the type of district that companies want to come to.
Well, Gil, I mean, you make one compelling case. I tell you that. And more so, I tell you, I know Gil personally. He's probably one of the most upstanding individuals I've met in my life.
Thank you.
No question. He didn't pay me to say that, guys. All right, this is the truth. But with that being said, Gil, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Great interview, like always, my man. When is the next board meeting? Maybe our listeners can know when the next time you guys meet.
Yeah, next board meeting coming up September 6th at 8:45 a.m. at the Aviation Cultural and Community Center. That's 3900 Aviation Circle.
Awesome. Well, trust me, matter of fact, I hope I'm presenting that meeting. I
hope so.
All right, Gil, no pressure. Hey, no doubt. Listen, thank you guys for joining us again for the Aerotropolis Atlanta podcast. Land here, take off. All great information about economic development, economic impact right here. Thank you.